Hi everyone, welcome to this reading. I have my crystal ball off to the side, so I will be scrying throughout this message. If you're new to my channel, my readings are a little different. If you're returning, welcome back. You know how we do. If it doesn't resonate with you, if you're forcing the story to fit or arguing with it in any way, just leave it behind for the people who it's meant for. So channel members, you will have the next Inner Major Arcana series video post Wednesday. That's going to be on the Hermit card. So if you're interested in a deep dive into the Major Arcana or any of the channel membership videos, that link will be in the description box below. So let's go ahead and let's get started. When I opened up this morning, I did write some things down. I am going to tune back in just because I did this earlier and I need to have that clear flow so that more things can be added to it. I will possibly add cards at the end. So let's go ahead and taking a step aside. Allowing Spirit to pass through me. Opening up to receive information. Okay. So when I first opened up for this information, I saw a big field, and there was this feeling on the field as though something terrible had happened on this field. I was seeing some things that I won't go into. If you understand the energy I'm about to talk about, you'll know why. And then there was this very intimidating presence. And so I set myself after this intimidating presence to try and see where this presence was emanating from, and I saw an older woman that was walking away from me. When I called out to her, she turned around, and without describing her again, if you work with her, you'll know why. When she turned around, I realized I was looking at the Morrigan. And this is interesting because the Morrigan briefly came out in a reading last week, and so this is an energy that's coming up in the collective. She must be trying to connect with a lot of people at this time. The energy that she's giving me is that she's here to inspire you, if you are part of this collective, to destroy the parts of yourself that no longer serve where you're going and what you're trying to accomplish. She's showing me the image of a board game, but before she continues with that image, she wants me to go on to some symbols, and so I'm going to give some symbols as they're coming to me. Now, if you are unfamiliar with my readings, if the symbols don't resonate with you, it doesn't mean that it's not your reading. It's just that the people who these symbols resonate with need to pay extra attention. Okay, so the first one that she's giving me is an Easter lily, a white Easter lily. The second one is a purple streak of hair in someone's hair, and it's quite long hair. A chunk of frankincense. Yeah, frankincense. A coffin shelf that's sitting behind somebody. And it feels a little high. It's like, okay, so it's like wall mounted. It's a higher shelf. And then a tattoo design instead of a ring. Bringing me back to this board game. And the message is coming through very clearly is stop playing the game. You're meant to break the game. This is giving me, she's giving me like this energy of somebody here has been sacrificing their authenticity to play by the world's rules. And I don't feel that this is just in one area of our life. This feels like something that's very broad. It feels like something that, you know, maybe we are placating people sometimes, or doing something to register, if you're a social media person, to register on whatever platform's algorithm, for example, because there's a way that you see everyone else doing it, so you think it has to be done this way. There's also this energy that's coming through about letting people get away with things because we think we have to do that in order to have friends around us or to have people around us. For some of you, this may even look like staying in a 9-to-5 even though you really hate working for other people because you don't necessarily believe in the things that you have to offer, right? You don't necessarily think that there's a market for it or that anybody would even care, right? It's something like that. There's a little aspect here of being asleep, right? Which is what it is when we're subject to the dream, right? The illusion of reality. And I want to specify that by being asleep, I don't mean that you haven't had like a spiritual awakening or anything like that. You know, in manifestation circles, we often consider most people asleep who haven't woken up to the realization that they are conscious creators and who haven't taken that charge of that for themselves, right? And so that's all I mean. I don't mean that somebody hasn't had their spiritual awakening. You can be a very spiritual person, and you know, just like the Morrigan's coming through in this message here later on with some of the things she had to say, you can be a very spiritual person but still be involved in an element of slavery, right? You can still act in the role of a slave, being slave to something, being slave to being led, being slave to being directed, being slave to, oh, this is happening because this was already decreed for me before, right? This is all a sense of slavery. It's that we're not in charge, we're not responsible, and there's something out there that's behind everything. And this is an energy that the Morrigan is trying to move her collective away from, whoever it is that she's appearing to. This is a very powerful message, because essentially what she's doing is she's trying to radically change someone's beliefs, not just about themselves, but about the world around them and their place in it. This takes a great deal of strength for some people, especially if someone has been stuck in a victim mindset for a very long time inside of their life. It takes a lot of willpower, a lot of rage, a lot of getting angry. And, there's a lot of spiritual people that'll be like, oh, that's not a good energy. It doesn't fucking matter. It is a great energy sometimes, because all energy has its place, and it's a great energy sometimes to get a person out of something that they've been stuck into to dramatically change their life. We have this whole attitude inside of the spiritual community that everything has to be love and light, everything has to be soft, everything has to be, plastic. Like, let's just call it what it is. It's plastic, it's hokey, and it's fake. And we don't accept other aspects of ourselves. The Morrigan is bringing forward some rage for somebody to tell you that you have to accept this aspect of yourself so that you can change, right? So that you can make a change in your life, so that your life leads you someplace that you actually want to be, rather than just always being nice and always showing love and always letting people walk all over you and having a life that you're absolutely miserable with because you're always getting side railed and you're always having your heart broken. The Morrigan is trying to wake somebody up. She's trying to take you by the shoulders and just shake you, which is what I want to do sometimes with people. This is what she's coming through with, right? And this is a little bit of a tough love, but it's not. This is the self-respect that you deserve to embody, and it's the way that you deserve to love yourself, right? Somebody here, you have a good measure of love. You just haven't necessarily realized that there's an aspect of your life that you're able to do a little bit differently than what you think you're able to do it. So she's coming through. She's saying that, somebody here still cares what others think, still cares about playing by their rules, still cares about this idea that in order to make it, you have to take part in their game. And she's coming through to say reality was meant to fucking be broken. That's what she's coming through with in this message. So the change is in your mind. It's in your heart. It comes with the understanding that you deserve more. You can be more. You deserve to have better relationships. You deserve to have something that you do for a living that you absolutely love and enjoy. You deserve to bring forward the deepest parts of yourself and offer that to the world and say, hey, I know I can make something with this, because why the hell couldn't I, right? That's the energy she's coming in with. You may be finding right now that if the Morrigan has been appearing to you, you might be finding that you feel a little bit more testy, or you might feel, a little bit more oomph than you usually do. I mean, if you've watched me for any length of time, you know that she's definitely changing my energy for this reading. And this is what she does. She comes in to bring in that warrior energy, that fire, because somebody needs to get their willpower up. It's really this feeling of she's emerging for you, because at times you felt that things were beyond your control, right? Maybe that's something that you've always felt. And she's coming to stoke the fires of your willpower to show you that they are not. They're absolutely not beyond your control. She comes with a lesson of how to destroy, right? How to embody the warrior and how to destroy false narratives, false beliefs, false relationships, false ideals, false self-talk, and to give you the strength to step outside of that constructed game to make your own rules. So let's pull some more cards on this. The correct harnessing of energy is something that she is giving me right now. There may be something here where there's a little bit of a warning that seems to be coming through. And what this energy seems to be is that somebody here is engaging in something that is actually quite detrimental to them, or is damaging them in some way. I do feel that it's something that is very insidious. In other words, we don't necessarily view it that way, right? We think, oh, we're doing the best thing for our business or for our family or for these people or for, maybe we even think for ourselves, especially if you've been stuck in a survival mode. But the warning that's coming through here is, and I'm being drawn to March. So if you're watching this at the time that I read it, in a few months, right? I do want to say that if you're not watching at the time that I post this, then this will be, in a few months from when you watch it. You're running the risk of either burning out or sacrificing your own sovereignty so much that it's almost like this energy of having traumatized ourselves, right? Subjected ourselves to things that were not good, in other words. And one of the energies that she's trying to bring forward for that person is that you have to get out of this energy. You have to get out of this mindset that you have to do for others, that you have to be this, that you have to, whatever the case is. I think it's going to be different for everybody. There's something that's on fire. And again, just like I said, she's trying to build up this sort of fire within us. You can see that fire in the background there. Okay. And soar. So this fire is meant to make us take off, right? Take off inside of our own lives. This bird here thinks that they're trapped, right? And it's only because this fire, they're drawn to this light, right? What they think things are supposed to be, the way that has been illuminated by, all the things, right? All the things. And I want to say that there is an element of this being popular ideas. We've listened to the popular ideas, or we've listened to how everyone around us acts when they say that they're this type of person, right? A perfect example of that is the spiritual community. There is this very culty sort of mentality, even in our spiritual narratives of, you have to act this way, you have to believe in this thing, and if you don't, I have to, not like you and unsubscribe to you and all this stuff, because we can't just let people be people, and we can't let people have their own paths. For some of you, that's what you're up against. You're up against other people, maybe even friends, maybe family, who can't let you have your own path because they still have this need to control, because they're living in a fear matrix where everything threatens them, where everything different threatens them, right? There's a little bit of that energy coming through here for me. And this is really telling you to be yourself, That's not saying be a loudmouth and you always have to shout it in people's faces. It's not that, right? But it's being yourself, not changing how you are and who you are just because someone else doesn't like it. For others of you, you may feel trapped, right? You may feel trapped inside of certain ideologies, certain types of beliefs, and you don't know how to get out of it. And that's why she's coming through. She's coming through to shake those foundations so that you can realize with this fire that's being lit under you that it's time to go. You have to soar. And this usually is just one little perspective that happens that changes everything. With her, it seems to be this inundation of energy that's coming in to change everything. And it feels like it's building momentum. It's building momentum for whoever this collective is. Let's see something here. Yeah, I can't even make that up. Total Morrigan energy right here. The thing is that when we have this energy, when we want to get to this place where we're really soaring, what it takes for some people is to get that fight inside of them. Whoever I'm speaking to, you feel like the collective that I'm speaking to here, it feels a little bit like we're too busy being nice all the time. Now, that's wonderful, right? We should all be nice. We should all be nice. We should all be kind. We should all love each other. Unfortunately, the thing is that you're working in a world where that's not the case, right? And you have to face reality at some point and understand that's not the case. I want to direct your attention to something that exists inside of Buddhism, for example. In Buddhism, most people think, passive, very, kind and gentle and sweet and compassionate. And the pillar of that compassion is, a lot of people look at the Dalai Lama and they're like, he's the pillar of compassion. There's an aspect that's tied to the Dalai Lama that's called Mahakala. If you don't know about Mahakala, look it up. Mahakala is fascinating because it's about wrathful compassion, meaning that if you truly have compassion for people, you're not nice to them all the time. Because by being nice to people, what you do is you enable them to continue doing the stupid shit that they're doing. And so this energy of Mahakala is sometimes people need to be taught a lesson. Sometimes people need some wrath so that they get the understanding that, this isn't okay. We've all been there, right? We've all been in places where we didn't really get that something wasn't okay until somebody got mad at us or somebody said something that was kind of like, and then you had to stop and think about it, right? Most of us have been there. And so this is a perfect example of how different energies are necessary to be a complete whole. And this is what the Morrigan's bringing through. Someone here needs to get their fight back with the battle energy. Some of you, in order to make this shift, there are elements that you're going to have to battle. And the Morrigan is here to give you that strength and that warrior energy and able to do so. So this is very beautiful energy. This is extremely empowering energy. Empowerment doesn't usually come through a very peaceful, soft, gentle way. It usually comes through the towers, through the destruction, through the fire being stoked, right? Through the sometimes even anger. That's usually how the journey of self-empowerment actually begins for most people. And so whoever this is, whoever I'm speaking to, the Morrigan is emerging inside your consciousness to help you take back your power from some sort of situation where we've maybe felt at the mercy of it, where maybe we've placed too much of our power, maybe we've have too much access, or we've molded to fit, right? She's trying to bring you back to yourself, bring back your psychic energy, bring back your emotional, your spiritual, and even your physical energy back from a place where there's a little bit of a warning that if you continue down this path, you're not going to be able to circumnavigate that later on down the road. And so now's the time, and this is why she's coming up. This is like a divine intervention that's happening on someone's behalf with the Morrigan emerging from your collective unconscious in order to show up for you and to give you signs and to give you messages and to try and work with you. If you're a meditator, get into meditation, try to focus on her, allow her to connect deeper with your energy, see what lessons she has. Something that's very important with gods when they appear to us is to learn about their myths, learn about their story, and you'll understand that the story that they have has an undercurrent of a symbolic reflection within us. It's something that we're currently going through. So the Morrigan is here to help somebody basically kick ass and take names. And so she's very fierce, she's very dominant, and she doesn't stop for anybody. And that's the energy she's trying to help somebody get into with this message and with her presence in their life at this time. So I'm going to leave this here. If this resonates for you, please hit that like button. Feel free to leave, oh, you can't leave a comment. I have comments off, and that's just going to be probably for the next couple of weeks. Again, if you're not aware of why I have comments off, I only have comments off so that I'm trying to get the spammers and scammers to move on. If I'm a channel that they feel that they can't comment on, they'll probably unsubscribe and leave. So this is what I'm trying to do. Yeah, so anyway, I'm going to leave this here, and I wish you guys the best of luck. Congratulations on this energy, because I'm definitely going to tell you right now, when she shows up, your life is about to change. So until next time.